Okay, this is where we left off. We went in here and we created these. I just went ahead and changed the color into something more sci-fi looking. I left one as it is just so I can show you how to change the color just in case you forgot. So I brought in another layer, which is this color palette. It's in your resource pack. And all you have to do is to click once so it shows up here, and then you're going to find the layer where this one was a line graph. Double click on line graph and then find the color again. And you're just going to go on each of the layers. Right now I'm on base, which is these two lines. Go on the stroke, get the eyedropper tool and just change the color. Got the line, again, stroke, grab the color. I guess we can go for something a little dark. And then if you want to do multiple things at once, select the bottom one, shift the top one. Since they're all the same color, get the eyedropper tool and choose something else. So just like that, we changed the color. As you can see, we go back here in final, the color is changed. Alright, so we did this. Now we need to essentially animate this like a presentation would look like. So in the first part, let's bring the video. It's the pixels. Just call this video 1. So let's bring video 1. You can see she is bringing her finger down, and that's a perfect time to bring in the bar graph. So it's like moving with her finger. So we're going to go on the final again. Go in bar graph. That's the first thing we're going to animate. And we're just going to bring in the pixels video. Just call this video 1. Bring video 1 below. And we're just going to make the bar graph move at the same rate as her finger does. So let's scale this out. Just right click. And we're going to go and transform fit to comp. Alright, there we are. Then we're going to get everything. We're just going to pre-comp this so we can move it in one scale. Hold on, bar graph. So we don't end up ruining the size. Okay, let's bring this here. Let's pretend this is where it's going to go. And bring it here. Alright, and then in the bar graph, we're going to go in the first one. Gonna have a look at the rate. So we know that first it's up, and then she brings her finger down. So at 2 seconds, her finger's all the way down. And yeah, alright. I'm going to first hit S on this one, and I'm going to make the, you can actually just change the place between this and that. So just bring this here, bring this guy here. All right, so this guy's up. Hit S on shape 2. S. In the beginning, we want it to be tall, so just switch these two. May have to do that for all the keyframes actually. Hit U on all of them, and we're going to select these ones and just bring these second sets to the side. We're only doing this because we want it to match the video, or else the bar graph should just appear in like a fun way. Bring it here. We missed the first one. Hit U on that as well and just switch the two keyframes. Alright, so we have this thing. We just have to, let me expand this a little. So shape 2, we have to also replace the 2 because first her finger was up and then it comes down. So essentially they're all up and then they come down. And for shape 2, we're going to go for 2 seconds so it doesn't come down as fast. Just offset the rest, make them random. Alright, so they're all up and then they go down. Let's come back here and have a look, see if it's alright. Gonna bring this in here. Okay, at 1:15 frames, she starts to bring her finger down. Expand this. Alright, so shape 2. We're going to bring this here, bring this here, and then copy this and paste it in the beginning so it does not move in the beginning. You want it to be normal, does not move. Let's see. Oh, that's shape 3. To do it on shape 2. So shape 2, this guy comes on 1:15. Copy the first one on shape 2 and just keep it maybe 25 frames. So shape 2 stays that way and then it goes down. Stays like that. And then, okay, it's a little too fast. Gotta slow down the movement. So we're going to bring the second one that we made on 1:15. Let me close all of these guys. Hit U to close them. We're only dealing with shape 2. So it stays tall until 1:15, where our time indicator is. And then it goes down to 2 frames. Alright, stays there. And then it goes down with her finger, as you saw. Alright, so we only wanted to make this interactive with her finger, the first bar. The rest of the bars, we just gotta offset it so it lasts until 2 frames. So we are not left with 1 bar after the interaction. Select all of these shapes except for shape 2, or the bar that you had here. We can call this main. So except for the main bar, which is interacting with her finger, we're going to just offset everything else. And make it look natural. Make this like really slow. Try to get really random things. And then copy the first keyframe of each one and paste it in the beginning. So Control C, come in the beginning, Control V. Select, Control C, Control V. Control C, Control V. So it stays that way, and then it goes down according to the speed that you chose. Goes in like that. Alright, so we made this really slow. Gonna bring them back in. Because we were going for 2 frames or 2 seconds, it expanded to 10 seconds. There we are. Now it looks like a bar graph. If we go back here, we have, again, her finger interacting with this, and then the rest just taking their time. Alright, we can delete video from this bar graph. Click away, close this. We have video 1 and final. Now our bar graph is updated. We just simply need to go back in and scale it up. There, we're going to scale it up fit to comp, right click. We only did that so we can match the finger movement, but the arrangement is going to be done in the final one. So just bring it back. This is how it was. Bring my timeline down so we can see the screen. All right. And now we're able to start our presentation. So the first thing was the bar graph. So all of these guys need to be offset away. So we're going to make this really big, right click. We're going to, and before that, let me actually put a background color because black is not the color we need. Go on your circle layer, or the one that looks like this. Hit Control Y or Command Y on your timeline, get the eyedropper tool, and get the dark blue that is in the background. So it's dark royal blue solid 3. Hit OK. This is the background color we need, not black. Alright, I'm going to lock this in place. I don't want to move the background. We're going to go in bar graph, again right click, transform, fit to comp. Maybe a little bit smaller. Like not exactly filling the entire thing, but somewhat close, like this. So this comes in first, and it has this scaling thing. Hit S on it again. 33% is too small. So we're just going to delete the last 2 keyframes. See what this is. Change this. Let's just delete them and do it again. I'm just going to make it appear normally. So 100%. It's going to, though it needs to be, I guess 80%. So it's not exactly filling the screen. There we are. So it's slowly going to show up. It's going to do its thingy, the movements. And then after it goes down, we can maybe move it to the side. So hit P on that. Turn on the stopwatch, 4 seconds. Move it out of sight. All right, F9. You're basically making a presentation right now. Select both keyframe, get the edge. We want it to be fast in the beginning. So get this side and just do that. So it's fast. Sorry, slow in the beginning and then fast afterwards. So it's going to be like this, and then it goes fast. All right. So just think that you're making like a PowerPoint presentation for that video. So you can choose the order and see what works for you. So after the bar graph is gone, we can choose maybe this circle thing, bring it in. And first we have to scale it up. Hit S on that. On the second one, delete the scale because we want to make it come from the side. And make it 80% like the bar graph. Right click, transform, fit to comp. Okay, it's a little bit squished. Just adjust it yourself. And then we're going to hit P on this. We hit U on bar graph. We don't need it anymore. Hit P on circle. Before turning on the stopwatch, we're going to move it to the right, completely out of sight. Turn on the stopwatch and then just come in a few frames. Bring it back in. So when the bar graph disappears, we want this guy to quickly make its way in the presentation. F9. Select the edge. Play that because I want it to be fast in the beginning and then slow on there. And I want this to appear when this guy is disappearing. So just bring it in like this. So as soon as the bar graph leaves, we're getting the circle thing. Then this circle thing is going to do whatever it's doing. And then we're going to make it scale out. So turn on the stopwatch, move in, just bring it to 0 and type in 0. F9. Again, as always, we want a smooth transition. So it goes in like that. So this was like the loading thing, and it comes in the calculating asset thing. Which is this layer. Let me close circle. Open this up. Gotta get the text. Calculating assets, and I want the pie graph and all to be around it. So the calculating asset already has a appearing animation. It's gonna do that, and after it says assets found, creating report, we're going to move this one. I'm going to put the line graph at the end. Just move it out completely. We're going to reposition the text down here, and this bar graph, just let it be where it is. So these two appear at the same time. Okay, I'm just going to speed this up a little, bring this here, because we have 14 seconds. I don't want this to be really long. It's just a little presentation. So we just got to bring these in like that, and then we're going to bring text and pie charts here. So when this disappears, the text and pie chart shows up. Okay, that was a little too fast. We want the bar graph to be on its way. Play that again. Bar graph moves out. This guy comes, goes out. Calculating assets. Pie graph, and the pie chart in the back is just doing its thing. And then while it's trying to calculate the report, we are going to hit P on both of them. Turn on the stopwatch, and then just maybe move them to the side. Moving forward. Out of frame. And again, F9. Go in the stopwatch, the speed graph, sorry. Grab the edge, the other side, because we want it to, this side, sorry. We want it to disappear quickly. If you're finding it hard to get the edge, just kind of zoom into your timeline. There we are. So we want it to be fast in the beginning and then slow once it went away. Okay, I'm having trouble getting the other one. Just see which one it is. Okay, we did this. Select them one by one so you won't have that issue. All right. So they disappear like that. You can offset the pie, the pie thing, so they're not exactly at the same time. And then the final line graph appears, which is really small. Right click, transform, fit to comp. Then we're going to just close the stuff we don't need, hit U on them, or M. Go on line graph, we're going to hit S, and just scale this down. Turn off the scale. Scale it to 80% like we did with all the other ones. I will add like a transparency animation to this. So come in the beginning, 0%, turn on the stopwatch, 100. F9, bring it in like that. So after these guys leave, bring it in closer. Oops, go back to final. So after it created the report, this is the report. So we're running out of time, unfortunately. So if you go in composition settings, we can add I guess 25 seconds. Oops, 25 seconds. All right, we've just done that. And after these guys leave, we can now give them some extra time to breathe. We can then watch the line graph complete, and then you can make it disappear so it becomes a loop. All right. Then over here, we're going to hit T again. 100%. 0. Then just got to expand our, unlock it first. Expand the background because we need it at all times. Close in the timeline, the workspace. So essentially we have this. Play that again. The line graph, the bar graph, it disappears. It then comes in the circle, calculating assets. That. And then this is the report that the computer created. All right, and now that we expanded things, we can also kind of slow down the time these guys are on screen. Hit P on this, a little too fast. Didn't get to see the bar graph finish. Make it as big as it was. Hit S. Bring it here. Okay. So this is our animation. It's really simple. You can add or remove elements if you want it to be different. And like I said, you can just download things online if you don't want to create them yourself. So you're saving time and you are just making your work look better with additional elements. All right, now that I'm done, I'm going to go to the closed line graph, the video 1 composition. There we are. Double click on that. So we have the video, but there's something else in there that we do not want. We want to replace that with the video we made. So hit G on your keyboard to get the pen tool, and we're going to mask out this guy. So zoom in. First, have a look at your video, and it's really important that the video is shot on a tripod. You can see it's not shaking at all, and I'm just going to bring it in just before this lady moves her head, because it will be difficult for us. Maybe cut it back to when she goes back in the seat. Cut that. So we're going to have like a hiccup here. It's all right. So we want to mask out this screen. Just select the video, get your pen tool, and you're just going to start from the edge and just go around the screen. And it's okay if you get her hand out. Don't worry about that. And try to guess where this guy ends. Find the edge, and then we want to change this, hit M on this, change this to subtract. So we have a black screen here instead of that. And now that we have a black screen, let me see. So we can just keep the video that is there because it's white and it's barely visible. We can simply just, let me bring back the mask, turn this to none. Let's go to Lumetri color, add it on here, basic. Okay, so turn it to add, we're going to just add to the exposure. Not that much. Just until we're barely seeing the stuff. We're going to bring this below. This video below. And let's have a look. Okay, turn it to none. And we have like a bright screen that is okay for the video to go on top. All right, so get final, close it here, go to project in video 1, close this. We're going to get the final layer that we combined all of our animations on. Here it is. If you play it back, you can see it's still there. Needs to render, but if you go in through, we have all of the animations that we made. And I just realized that we made our animation 16 seconds long, but the video is short. So be careful of that. And what we want to do now, so just go to final, close all of these layers, hit U. We're going to make a stroke, get the rectangle tool, don't select anything. I'm going to make a stroke of the edge. We have a fill as well. Turn off the fill. Get a bright color, this guy. Okay, and we're just going to, let's see, make this a little smaller, maybe 25. Okay. Hit V, and we want to make it small so we're not exactly covering the edges, but we have like a lining inside. Turn this to 15. Okay, so now we can go back to video 1. Now we have this. We're going to position this guy onto the screen. So just go to your effects and presets and look for corner pin. Apply corner pin on final. Now we have these pins, which we can just match with the pins of the television. You might have to zoom in, but this will do. Zoom in and make sure we're getting every bit of the screen. You can see we went over the top a little bit. Come down here, we have some bald spots here as well. Here it's the head of the lady, you can't do much about that. And then up here we have another point to fix. All right, so this is on here, it has all of the things, but we need to make it blend in. So we're going to go on final, hit toggle switches and modes until you're seeing 2 of these, and change mode to add. As you can see, it's like a thing. You can see the, I don't know if you guys can see, maybe. You can see that it has like a hologram look to it, and it looks cool. So we also want to make it more visible, so go to glow and add glow onto final. Close corner pin, as in hide it. We're going to remove from the threshold and add to the radius. You can see it's glowing. You zoom in. So this is with the glow, this is without the glow. You can see the difference. All right, so we have this, and if you guys want, you could kind of make it more 3D. So it comes out of the screen, but we added the corner pin, so we might as well just stick to that plan. Okay, so we have this problem now that this lady's hand is, and this lady's head is going over this hologram. And I'm just going to, let me see, remove the mask on this one. Don't need it. So what we need to do is to simply get the rotor brush. If you guys remember how to use it, we're going to select this lady and this lady and just make them a single layer on top so we don't have this issue. To do that, you're just going to double click on video 1, bring it on top, double click, get the rotor brush, and just select, just want her hand. Don't really need the rest. Hold down Alt to remove the parts that you don't need. Okay. Then with the green, we need her finger and all that. Forgot the tip here. Alt, just go in like that. We also have this tiny bit. Okay, so it's only her finger that is in her arm that is interacting with the thing. Okay, so and then we also have this lady's head. So just get the green and add that to the selection. Forget the face as well. Zoom in so you get everything. Now this would be a lot more simpler if you had a green screen video, but I'm showing you what you can do in times where you have a video like this, you took it at your office or something, and there's people on the screen. Alright, so we have these two tiny things. We're just going to close these two. We're going to hit freeze. So go in the beginning of your timeline and just hit freeze. It's going to freeze this. I'll be back once it's done freezing. Alright, so it freezed and you can see we have a head and a finger. If we go back to composition video 1, without the, let's call this roto. Without the roto layer, this was going over the head and the finger. With the roto layer, it's not. And if we turn off the video below, you can see it's just a head, the finger, and the final composition that we made. Alright, so we made this. But we need to kind of soften the edges of the roto layer. You can see it's really rough. And to do that, just go on roto. You can see roto brush and refine edge. You can feather the edges. Let's go for 10. You can shift the edge if you need to, and maybe reduce chatter by 4. Okay, that's better. You can play around with these and see what works well for you. So we did this, but the animation is really hard to see because we need to darken the background more. We could even replace the bar that is already there by simply creating a solid below this, because we have the roto now. Whatever we do below is not going to affect the finger or the head. So Control Y or Command Y on the keyboard, go for like a color that will look good, that will kind of bring out the details in the animation. This gray is fine. We can clearly see what's happening. And it looks cool. Okay, so what we're going to do is to first turn off the roto layer. Going to get our effects and presets layer, get CC corner pin. Sorry, just corner pin. There's no CC. Corner pin, put it on gray solid 1, and we're going to do the same thing as we did with the other layer. Squeeze it into the computer. Do that. I'm going to turn off the final composition so I can see where I need to go. Make sure you're fitting everything in perfectly. And like we said, if this was a green screen, you can simply just key light the green out and you won't have to do this gray solid thing that we're doing right now. You can make sure you zoom in to make sure everything is nicely placed. Go on gray solid, corner pin, just make sure you're on the right spot. See, we're getting some blue lines. To adjust these. Then we have our third one. It's a little out of place. Bring it in like that. Then we have the fourth corner, but we don't need to do much because the head is there. Alright, so we have the gray solid 1. Let's call this screen. So on top of screen, if I turn this on, we can now clearly see what's happening. If we also bring the roto brush on, it just looks like it's a screen. And it's the original screen, like instead of that white graph that they already had, Now we have this gray background color, and our animations are looking pretty realistic and cool. So she's teaching that. I'm going to cut the end of the workspace here. I'm going to let this render so we can see a preview of what we did. But essentially, this is how you create HUD animations. It's fairly simple and easy. We may have to reduce the glow a little bit. I'm going to replay the part where the graph moves with the finger because that's the part we spent quite some time on. And now that we have this, we know how it works. We can create a 3D version on the second video. And we're going to see how we can do it by converting these into 3D layers and kind of make each element float in the air like a hologram would. But for this one, we just have this in a screen. You can also make it a flat color if you just want to put your own presentations into a video screen. One you created on PowerPoint maybe. You can export that as a video and then use the CC corner. It's not CC, just corner pin on the video to make it fit. Alright, so you can see the bar, it goes down with the hand, so it's like she's controlling everything, and then she's pointing at the circle thing, and then calculating assets. We would continue with this, but because we only roto-brushed until here, can't really do that. We could, however, after the bar graph shows up, goes down, we can Control-Shift-D here, right click, go to time stretch. I want to make it faster, so let's go for 200. And okay, it's a little too slow. Try to see if we can time stretch this. Oh, we stretched it actually. Go for 50, 30. A little bit more. 30 is too little. Let's go for 10. Alright, so this will have to fit in, and we made everything really fast. We can make the rest where it's writing the text slower. So go again here. Time stretch, bring it to 100. So it slows down when the text is coming. That's too slow. Let's go for 50. Okay. So we have the bar graph just moving in the time that we assigned it. Then we have this happening. And then calculating assets. We made it faster, so now we can see everything except for the line graph. That's okay. And if you want, you can reduce the glow. It is a bit much. So just, oops, that's a radius. You can add to the threshold to remove that intense glowing line. So you can see this was before. This is before. If you add to the threshold, you are kind of reducing the intensity. Also remove from the radius. And that way you're going to make the glow less intense. So I'm going to put 50 for each one so we get an equal glowing amount. $50 here, 50 there. And all right, we have this. It's looking good. So there it is. We have a HUD animation. Really simple, really easy. And now that we created the base and how the glow works, how the blending modes work, we're going to apply it on our next lesson onto a 3D space on this video, where we have the perfect opportunity to create these 3D elements and use the animations that are available for 3D layers onto this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. I'll see you guys in the next one.